Hey everybody, I hope you all are doing well. We are back with some r slash just no mother-in-law stories. So please sit back and relax, and I hope you enjoy. Our first story is going to be the time my mother literally took the piss. This took place when I was 19. Things had just started getting serious between me and my boyfriend, now husband. So I taken myself to the GP and decided to go with a contraceptive implant. Naturally, in my mother's warped mind, this meant I was pregnant. Fast forward a few months and I start feeling rotten. Aches and fever, that sort of thing. Mom takes me to the GP, who says it's probably an infection. Spoiler, it was. And tells me to leave a urine sample at reception and they'll get back to me with the results. In retrospect, I probably should have been suspicious that Mom took me straight home instead of to the toilets. I put it down to really not feeling well. Mistake number 1. Back at home, I do the sample and Mom tells me to leave it in the kitchen and she'll take it to the GP later. I do that and go to bed. Mistake number 2. A short while later, she barges into my room and proclaims, "Congratulations." What? You're not pregnant? That's right. She swiped the sample and used it to do a pregnancy test. Of course, when it turned out that it was an infection, she announced loudly that it was because I was having special hugs and because we're autistic. We didn't know how to do it right. She continued telling people we were doing it wrong until I actually did get pregnant many years later. She needs a name. Maybe needy as "you need to" is practically her catchphrase. Edit. I'm loving all the name suggestions. I think P Pirate might be my favorite. I do have to agree, P Pirate does sound like a good name to explain this woman for actually taking the P. Alright, so we are going to go into another story from As Down the Reddit Hole. This is continued from this story involving P Pirate. So let's hop on in and enjoy this little tale. P Pirate and the paternity test. I'll preface this with a note that this is far the worst story I have about P Pirate. Not because it's violent, but because it was the most hurtful thing she did to me, and it completely destroyed any trust I had remaining in her. Background: I was brought up with the story that P Pirate's ex-fiance was my father, and he had left her because she got pregnant and didn't want to be a father. It was often thrown in my face, often, I don't know that word, of nothing, that he had left because he didn't want me. It's not my fault your dad left, so don't take it out on me. And she often rambled about how she used to be in a band. It was always a sore point for me. I never really felt like I belonged in my own family. And every Father's Day, even birthday, was a fresh slap in the face. So back in 2010, I made a decision. I was going to try to find my dad, armed only with his name and the name of his band. I tracked the band's page on Facebook and left a message, somewhere along the lines of does name remember P Pirate in city in year before my birth. No other details. This is important. A few days later, I got a response from someone else. You have the wrong band. You want band X. By this time, I had lost my nerve, so I decided to just drop the whole thing. Sometime later, however, I got another message from this person. I know why you were looking for name, but there's actually a chance that I might be your father. My first thought was that someone was having a bit fun at my expense. But remember when I said I didn't put any details in the post? Yeah, this guy's message was full of details that I hadn't told anybody, including the name of my godfather, who P Pirate worked for at the time. P Pirate's preferred nickname, and a whole host of other little details. He described living with P Pirate whilst she was pregnant with me, until one day she up and leaves, goes back home to my grandparents without a word, and nobody will tell him where she gone. I was completely floored. After a bit of back and forth, he starts sending me family photos. There's one of his mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, and it looks like I even been photoshopped in. I look like I could be his mother's clone. Her hair, her smile, and the way she holds her head. Everything. There are also aunts that look like me, cousins that look like me. It was surreal. You can guess how P Pirate took this development. At first, when I asked if she knew this guy, she denied it. But when I mentioned that he had messaged me, the color drained from her face. Then she exploded. I know what you're trying to say. He's not your father. Don't you think I know? Stop looking at me like that. You just look like him. But he's not your father. He was too clingy. His mother was a witch. I wanted to do it myself. I could have gone after him for maintenance, but I didn't. And all my time favorite line. Anyway, I did him a favor. You were hard work. There was a lot more screaming. Demands were made for me never to contact him again. She disconnected the Wi-Fi. I could still contact him at my then boyfriend's house, and she finally demanded I tell him to call me. So he did, and she immediately took the phone into the other room so I couldn't hear. He arranged a DNA test, and P Pirate demanded it to be sent to her. Nope. She demanded we open the results together. Nope. Bear in mind that the whole time I'm waiting for the results, P Pirate is still denying he's my father. Results show something like a 99.998% match. He is definitely my father. There's always that 2%. Dad, yay. And I were messaging each other a few nights ago, and I mentioned this whole fiasco and how she had lied. But she told me on that first phone call you were mine. Then told me she was going to have to deal with the fallout and was going to cause a lot of trouble. We concluded that she got pregnant on purpose. There's no way she would have got pregnant or kept the baby without an agenda. Tried to go back to her fiance with a sob story while expecting Dad to run for the hills. He was 19 at the time, 10 years younger than her. At the first sign of responsibility. When this backfired, the other guy appears to be child-free by choice these days, from what I could gather. She had a fit of spite and ran home. She's lucky we're already no contact. Alright guys, what did you think of this story? Please put your opinions down below. And this is going to be it for today. It's been a while since I posted, and I do apologize that a lot was going on, but I do appreciate you all sticking around and hanging tight with me. So, thank you for watching. Put a comment, put a like, hit the bell notification, and please subscribe. It does help me out a lot. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great one. Bye-bye!